Alright, now let's learn the next chapter, that is chapter number 2, Code of Ethics and Conduct. In this chapter, we are going to learn about various sources of regulation, the fundamental principles by which the ACCAs are and the auditors are being required to follow. What is a conceptual framework that revolves around ethics? How do the auditors, or how does the auditor need to respond to the threats that he might face while auditing a client? What are public interest entities, and what is something that the auditor should be careful about when auditing the public interest entities? And we'll also learn certain current issues which is going on around ethics with respect to various auditors, and what are the ethical threats the auditors are facing. This chapter is a very important chapter. It's quite frequently tested, and definitely as part of current issues, very frequent issues. If you have taken a look at it, or if you have read through it, or if you have heard about it, it all revolves around ethical matters. Having certain kind of threats for the auditors when they are auditing the client. So this particular chapter is quite frequently tested as part of part A, or in some small parts in part B as well of your exams. Now, when you are writing these threats, or when you are writing these ethical constraints, in the exam, you are not just required to mention like what the threats you might face or what are the issues of ethical constraints you are facing. You have to write also how the auditor needs to overcome these threats. What is the response that he needs to take when he is facing such ethical dilemmas or ethical issues with respect to this audit that he is going to conduct. So this chapter is, even though it is a kind of a theory, there is a lot of practical application that you need to learn. There will be questions, not direct questions, but scenario related questions where there is a ethical constraint that is mentioned in the scenario. You have to identify them as well as respond to them as an auditor, and as well as you will be stepping into the shoes of audit manager, and as an audit manager, how you're going to respond to them will be very vital. That's what the examiner will be looking for in your answers.